So this next one, very interesting as we continue in division play. Notive Unks and Rush Hour. So I think these are two of the best 1-2-1 comps we have in Overbots. Rush Hour might even just be the best team overall, and the best example of what a good 1-2-1 comp looks like. Notive Unks, looking like the second most powerful 1-2-1 we have in this league. I don't know. I don't think there's another. Yeah, because the other two are my team and Krusty Crushers, and both of those teams are not very good. So, Rush Hour is a very dominant team so far. They are the only team as of yet to beat AI, and they did it pretty convincingly. It was a very tight match though, so it probably could have gone AI's way if just a few more picks go one way or the other. Um, Rush Hour still a very big threat, I think. In this one though, I'm thinking that maybe the Orisa squad has a chance here. Not confident about that. But this team might have one of the best chances at winning here. I don't know. They're a pretty good team. Their only loss coming to the Moldy Milkers so far, which is a good team in its own right. Triple tank team. Alright, here we go. Not Krusty Crushers, excuse me. Rush Hour and no Diff Unks. And first pick going to the side. Oh, Cassidy trading though. Oh, Cassidy gets two. Oh, but the Junkrat gets both DPS at the end there. Clutch play by Junkrat. Cassidy can put in work. That's what we're going to have to look out for in this matchup here. If Cassidy can pop off, I could very much see Notive Unks actually being able to make this series a tight one. Alright, here comes the horse. She does get booped up in the air. Just going to use that Fortify a little early here. Ryan is getting a little bit low. Alvarez is the first to fall, actually. And the window comes in. That is a team fight victory here for Rush Hour. Like I said, probably our strongest 1-2-1 comp, and maybe even team overall in Overbots currently. Some of the more obscure comps have been dominating elsewhere. Most of the 1-2-1-2 comps don't seem to be very good. Alright. Moira just goes in, immediately dies. And Arisa's going to fall next. Cassie's probably going to go down here. And wow, Rush Hour just... I thought maybe No Defunks would have a chance in this one, but Rush Hour's just such a strong team. It is going to take an MVP performance from one of our squads to dethrone this squad, for sure. No one has really been looking into trading yet, which I think going to be of a big benefit for most. Cassidy able to take one, but that's probably not going to be enough. Widowmaker dancing around, gets Fire Strike, and that's going to be 100-0. Not quite as close as I was hoping to see here. As we know, over bots, you have 6 matches against teams inside of your division, and the 4 other matches are one match against each team in the other division. So the league can look a little bit predictable at times, since you have seen most matchups before. I'm wondering if next season maybe I should make it so you only play like 1 or 2 teams from the other division. And you play them multiple times. Oh my, there we go. Okay. No Diff actually coming in with a fight win. Putting in work against Rush Hour. Ryan has had an interesting history because he has never been in a finals. He's always been around like 3rd place or so. Arissa and Mauga have mostly dominated the meta. Here comes Ryan though. This time around though, he has a very strong team backing him. The horse though is just puts in so much work by herself, man. Look at that. She does eventually go down, but man, the horse is such an oppressive tank in overbots. But this is the season for Ryan, it seems. He's got a very, like I said, a very good squad behind him. Working at Cassidy just kind of feeds there. That was not a very good play by Cass. Moira's probably going to die here soon. Whoop. If I had to guess, this is probably the best non-Malga team we have seen in Overbots. The best non-Bastion Torb team. We do have a Junkrat. Junkrat has been in a finals before. Junkrat is a very solid character. Soldier, never been to a finals. Bap, never been to a finals. Ryan, never been to a finals. But now that they're all on the same team, they look quite strong together. Cassidy able to get 1 before falling to the rat. Don't think that's going to be enough to engage in on, especially with your Orisa just now respawning. So, looks like about 1 more fight will come in through for No Diff Unks, but it's looking the way of Rush Hour, as we pretty much expect from a series like this. Rush Hour is just a very strong team. It's gonna be tough to contend with them this year. I think AI has the best chance. Junkrat getting the Widow. Soldier gonna take down the Moira. Oh, here comes the Riptire. Oh, Cassidy actually destroys it. Cassidy's still up here. Does he get the touch or does he get booped off? He does get the touch and he gets... Oh my gosh, Cassidy. Cassidy is going to get pinned. I don't think there's any touches coming through, so yeah, that will be it. But holy cow, Cassidy just proving why he is one of the best teams on, or one of the best DPS on No Diff. Actually, he might even be one of the DPS in the game, best DPS. Cassidy can just like take a full team fight into his hands. He can take over matches. It's a very powerful bot. So is Soldier. Basically, any of the hit scan bots that don't need to, like for instance, Widowmaker, she needs to right click, so it creates a little bit of problems for her. And then things like what else? Ashe, she also needs to right click for it to be like good value, but she doesn't. So anything that's hit scan, medium range, all those threats are like really strong in overbots. It seems like turrets are probably top tier, but that's why Bastion is so oppressive, is because he fits the category of those top tier DPS, but he also just does a crap ton of damage and people just run straight into him. So And I think Cassidy and Soldier are very good replacements for a thing like Bastion, and having a Soldier and a Junkrat on the same team is like crazy strong because you got like the projectile threat of the spam, and then you have the crazy good hit scan, plus Ryan, and then you also have BAP. So you have basically 3 DPS plus a Ryan. Very hard team to overcome. I'm sure there are better ones. Ryan has not yet seen a pick from a team that isn't Rush Hour yet. I think Chase would be very disappointed if he could not get Ryan in a season. And he's had some pretty solid teams. He has not yet won a final though, and it's looking like Ryan might make a run for the crown this season. We will have to wait and find out. It's going to be an interesting season for sure. No Diff Unks, also new team this season, and they are slotting right in. Took the Gooders Orisa, as they should. Very, very fun hero to have on your team. That is a Widowmaker down. BAP traded, but Soldier and Junk just putting in work, taking care of No Diff Unks. Alright, here we go. Comes the next fight here. Rush Hour currently leading this series 1-0. Just killed Orisa for free. Surprised she didn't fortify there, as now she is going to lose this team fight outright, as Soldier and BAP just shred through the remainder of the squad after Orisa goes down. Rush Hour looking clean as per the prior arrangement. Oh, well, Junkrat fed a little bit, but that doesn't matter as they do take this first point. Ryan pinning hits straight into the wall. Very unfortunate look there. Cassidy's going to pick up the BAP there. Widowmaker's going to pick up the Junkrat. And, so a couple picks coming through for No Diff Unks. Comes Rush Hour. The Rhine going on the flank. He does get jabbed out of his charge, and he's going to get punished severely for his mistake. Widowmaker picks up the BAP before falling herself to Rat. Soldier able to get 2. He's not going to win against the Orisa though. It's going to be a little bit more of a spawn hole here from No Diff Unks. Doing pretty good here on defense against one of the best teams in the league. Well, No Diff Unks really making a name for themselves lately, despite losing to Moldy Milkers week 1. They have seen some pretty strong performances against teams like Blazing Magi, and there's another team that they just beat, Krusty Crushers. Albeit 2 of the lower tier teams, but they still weren't dropping maps to them, so it's a good sign. And then they did they beat another, no they didn't. This is their 4th game, yeah. Okay. Rush Hour and No Diff Unks going at it. Rush Hour currently about halfway. We'll probably get about halfway, if not a little more, to this next point. Yep, here comes the Orisa ult. That is a huge Orisa ult, as it gets half the squad, and Ryan and Rat are going to be quick to fall afterwards. Very good Orisa ult there. Pretty much getting the whole squad in there, and then the ult just murked them. Very good look here from No Diff. Oh, Cassidy's gonna get pinned. That is a death. Moira goes down while Coalescence. Widowmaker does pick off the BAP. Funnily enough. However, I don't think it's gonna be enough here. Yeah, Orisa's about to go down. Widowmaker's just stalling out. Just keeps stalling this payload here. Might lead to one more touch. Unless they wait for Widowmaker, they probably won't. If they wait for Widowmaker, they probably won't get the touch. But if they don't wait for Widowmaker, they could have gotten it. Yeah, so... yeah, I don't think they're going to get it. I think this will be the second checkpoint going the way of Rush Hour. Unless Orisa comes in here for a touch. She's getting close. They're probably going to take this fight anyway, so... when Orisa engages. Oh? Are they going to drop down? They are. Yes. Oh, cancel charge for some reason. Uh-oh. Moira does go down. Widowmaker helps to remove the Rhine from the cart, but I don't think that's going to be enough here as the rest of the team is falling around. No Diff struggling here a little bit on defense. Trying to hold off Rush Hour. They are on this final point where things can get a little interesting. Cassidy's probably going to go down here. Here come Rush Hour. Very strong performance from them thus far in this season. They've only dropped like 2 maps, maybe. Oh no, they went to a map 5 against Logie Swords, I'm pretty sure. Here comes the Rhyme Pin straight into the cart. Baptiste getting a little bit back here. He's very low. He does grab that health pack. He's gonna pick up Moira. Soldiers. Here comes the Riptire. Might get one. It will get Cass. Versus getting zoned out quite a bit here. She's very low. She has her ult. She's just sitting in the back right now for some reason. Oh no, this is... I forgot they're on defense. I'm cooked in the brain. I'm cooked in the brain. That was a smart decision. Okay. Moira coming in to heal her horse. Huge shatter by the Rhine here. Ursiv's able to get one, but I don't think that's enough, man. And that'll be it. Rush Hour finishing with a $1.17 on the clock. Good push by Rush Hour. Yes. Okay. So are there any tiebreakers in the playoffs? We're going to do head-to-head record, and then we'll do, if there are any ties between two teams at the end, we'll see which team did better against the other overall, and then we'll go to map diff if that's tied to. I believe my team is pretty much already out of contention. 2 weeks in, and we're 0-4. We would probably have to win all 6 of our remaining matches for even a chance at getting in, but I doubt that's going to happen. So a few teams probably already eliminated from the final. I believe my team's probably on that board. I believe Krusty Crushers might be getting close to elimination here. I can't imagine you can go to the finals with 4 losses. So I'm probably out, even with a 6-4 record. But I'm probably not going to get 6-4. That's a pipe dream. Rush Hour doing a very good job on defense here. Soldier cleaning up these kills. It's going to take quite a few fights to full hold here, but it is possible they could full hold no diff unks. It would just a bit improbable. Soldier getting a little bit all alone here. He is going to go down. That is pain for your hubris right there. Ryan almost picks off the Moira there. Gets 2 fire strikes in. He's going to pin. He does almost send himself off the map. Doesn't quite. Cassidy able to pick up the BAP. A lot of confusion happening on the side of Rush Hour here as Cassidy is going to eat. And we're finally going to see no diff unks push through here. Rush Hour getting a nice little spawn camp for that first fight. See if they can hold them, or if the push will continue. These escort maps always a bit interesting to watch. Alright, here comes Rush Hour. Next fight is crucial here. If Rush Hour wins this, looking at maybe like 2 more fights, maybe. There goes Cass. That's not what you want to lose first. Probably your best player. Maybe Arissa might be your best player, actually. But without Cass, she's a little worse for wear there. That will result in a fight win for Rush Hour. They need to win about 2 more fights to full hold here. Actually, maybe 3. Might be 3 fights. Soldier's going to feed again. It's a very interesting play. Sometimes we just see Soldier run out in front and get himself killed. I wonder why that is. Okay, Junkrat goes very low, but he does survive. BAP is very low in the back. He is going to go down. Moira pops the ult, but gets killed mid-cast. Junkrat putting in work, kills the Widowmaker from long range with this Rhine shield up. And all of a sudden, Rush Hour looking like they might full hold here on Route 66. So, like I said, there's probably 2 more fights coming up here. Although your Cassidy just going down here means you get about half. Okay, this means you probably get 1 more fight now. 50 seconds. I mean, you might be able to get 2 if you go quick. So my initial estimate of 2 might... Oh, okay, wait. They might actually win now. Soldier is throwing a little bit sometimes on defense. Just helping them a little bit. Widowmaker does get trapped. However, Rat doesn't combo. BAP with an ult, but I think he's going to die to the... He does die to the slam. That is a big ult by Arissa. And that might just give her team his first checkpoint. Soldier getting a little bit aggressive here. And by a little bit, I mean really aggressive. He's like hard inting. Soldier probably going to die here. Yep. And that will more than likely result in the first checkpoint going the way of no diff unks, just barely. Pinned by the Rhine. Not quite a 2-0 yet. As no diff unks are holding on for dear life in this series. They do get the Rhine, so now they can push up. Widowmaker on the Rat. However, she's gonna get diffed because she's in a small room with a Rat. Not a very smart play there by the Widow. All right, no diff unks on the second point, pushing up now. I always want Widow to stay back there if she could. If they could program her to do that, but no, she's just going to go to the payload. Not exactly the best place to be on Widow, but it is what it is. They have their positioning flaws. Alright, here comes Ryan with a shatter from the top ropes. He gets 3 members of no diff unks, and he pins the Widow. He's going to be on this Cassidy in the back. He does get very low back there, but he is going to back up to his team and survive. Rush Hour just eating no diff unks alive here on defense. It's looking like they are going to take a very quick 2-0 lead in this series. And probably another 3-0 today. There are very few close bot bot games we have in Overbots, but the ones we do are very nice to witness. The ones like AI and Rush Hour that we saw earlier, very enjoyable. Alright, Orisa able to kill a couple. Let's see, maybe No Diff Unks can push us to this final point. We'll see if they can make this map close. Be very interesting to see No Diff Unks take a map off Rush Hour, showing that gods can bleed. Oh my word, Cassidy's gone, but I think they're gonna... No. Rush Hour's coming in here. Oh, he does get jabbed. Here comes the Coalescence. We haven't seen this Coalescence do anything yet. Junkrat getting very low. He's gonna trade for the Moira Widow. Actually, I think Orisa gonna give us over the line here. No Diff Unks fighting for their lives against this top tier team. Soldier gonna go down. Orisa just doing her part, keeping her team alive in the series. Ryan's gonna get in here. He's probably gonna die. Fortunately, you finished the second point with as much, or with less time than they ended theirs with. So you're very likely gonna finish this in overtime if you do finish at all. Cassidy able to pick up the rat. A lot of staggers coming in from Rush Hour now, and you gotta be worried. This could see an overtime round, and if it does get to that point, your defense has to be resolute on the side of Rush Hour, otherwise you could end up dropping this map suddenly after your very solid defense on point A and B. Widowmaker immediately down, though. That is a good start for Rush Hour. Gonna put down the lamp, saves their team, and this is looking like it could just be the map now. Okay, yeah, that could just be the map. They might get one more touch, they might not. Orisa's gonna die here, so the chances are they're probably not even gonna touch. So yeah, that's probably the map. They made it pretty close. Widowmaker's gonna try to touch, but I don't. Yeah, and Moira gets pinned back there. That's pretty much it. No one's gonna grab this touch. And Rush Hour, dominant team continues. It's gonna go up 2-0. One map away from taking yet another 3-0. Actually, I don't think they've taken that many 3-0s. They've taken like 1 3-0. They've played some tough teams to start the season, and they've beat all of them. So, you know, I thought No Diff Unks might be able to stand a chance here, but we're really seeing it might not be the case. So after this one, we have... Let me go look at my schedule real quick. We have Krusty Crushers versus AI. I think that is going to be a 3-0 victory in favor of AI. And then we have Moldy Milkers versus Microfish, and I think that is probably going to be a 3-0 in favor of Moldy Milkers. So not too many exciting matches to finish off the day, but we can always dream. Alright, here comes Rush Hour. Let's see how good they can get this attack on Reinhardt's homeland right here. By Reinhardt's homeland, I mean, it's definitely not Reinhardt's homeland, but this is like one of the best maps for Rein. Soldier absolutely frying. Wonder if we can break some records here and see how quickly they can take this King's Row. Try to get this 3-0 going for Rush Hour. I'm feeling like it's gonna be that way. They just seem to be better at each turn here. Ryan having himself a heck of a season. Here they come. They had 5 minutes, over 5 minutes going into the second point. Looks like no diff unks aren't putting up much of a fight here on Kings Row. It looks a little bit one-sided on this map. More so than Root. This hybrid map not going the way you would hope if you are the unks here. Rat is frying, Soldier is going off. This is looking like a quick point B coming through here. Sitting around in their place. And that is another, there's still 5 minutes on the clock going into this third point, and oh my word, this is brutality at its finest. No diff unks put up a good fight on the first 2 maps, but this one is looking a little bit one-sided. Oh no, here comes the Riptire. Doesn't even get anything. Weirdly enough, Riptire doesn't get any value. Soldier is going to take out the Urus at the end there, and the Widowmaker. You know what, just get the Moira too while you're at it. Oh, he's very close to. Ryan's going to come in here, and actually, suddenly, that's a fight win for Rush Hour. So that fight win that looked like it was definitely going to be in favor. Wow, what the heck, man. Big pin coming through, he kind of whiffs it, but Moira's probably going to die here. A fight that looked like it was going no diff unk's way. Suddenly Soldier just kills 2, and suddenly Rush Hour is in the lead again. Although, wait. Now they're coming in. They got some ults. Rush Hour just popping off, though. Soldier getting 3. Can't stop the man on the mission. Here we go. Uno must fight. That Rush Hour have to win here, pretty much. Unless they don't push the payload. That's always a possibility. He does get one with the Shatter. Here comes the aimbot. Uh-oh, this could be bad. Oh, no, no, no. 4K for Soldier. Just another day in the office for that guy. Insanely powerful bot. Especially with a shield in front of him. And that'll probably be... Oh, boy. Soldier gets javelin spin to death? Question mark? I thought he got booped off the map. I'm really confused on what I just saw. I'm going schizo. So Rush Hour actually losing. Oh, Rhino almost C9'd them. That was a bit much. That was a bit much. Okay. So can no diff unks hold them on this final point? They do get the Soldier, but Soldier traded out the Widow. Rat's gonna die. He fed a little bit. Looks like Rush Hour's feeding a tiny bit here, which works out well if you are no diff unks. Oh, here comes the pin. He misses it. He is just kind of going in. No ifs and buts about it. He is sending it 1v4 down main. He's gonna die for this. This hubris will not go unpunished. Soldier also probably gonna die. There's a lot of staggering happening from Rush Hour right now. Gotta say, Rush Hour isn't a rush, but it seems like they're in a rush to feed. Very weird. That 5-minute time bank is now depleted to 2 minutes, 17 seconds, and suddenly, gotta be a little worried of your Rush Hour. Why do they keep staggering like this? Here they go again. Ryan almost pushes himself off the map, and he is gonna just die. Eagerly feeding themselves to the blender of no Diffunks. A little bit odd play we're seeing here. They just keep staggering in, one after another. They are not grouping up. Alright, here we go. I think they're pretty much forced to regroup now, right? Okay. Wasting a lot of time just staggering in one by one could be bad for them. Cassidy actually going on a little flank here. Although, losing the 1v1 to the Cass, or to the BAP, I mean. But Orisa just putting in work, and all of a sudden, Netavunks might hold them on this third point, which is surprising. The staggers really coming to bite Rush Hour. So they kept staggering in for a good, like, minute and a half there. It looks like Soldier might just do it again. Oh, no. It looks like players have taken over for No Diffunk, and No Diffunk and Rush Hour is just like feeding like actual bots. This is so weird. It looks like the play from No Diffunks has just like stepped up on this final little section. Ryan's going on a long flank here. Here comes the Riptire. If this can get something, this could change some fates around, and it will. Ryan is the only one on cart right now, and the rest of No Diffunk is kind of spread out. They're away from this payload. They could push this in right here, right now. Moira's getting very low on the back end. Orisa able to trade out the rat, but Moira going down here, and that is going to be a shatter right on the Orisa's face to finally finish the map. But you had 5 minutes going into that third point, and you end up with only 15 seconds. That is a crazy hold from No Diffunks, but more importantly, it looked like a crazy throw from Rush Hour. That was so many staggers coming through. It just almost resulted in them just losing the chance to finish that map, but they eventually do get it through. This map 3 looking like Rush Hour's pretty much still in control of the series, but that was a lot closer than I had anticipated when I first saw it. The first 2 points just looked dominant from Rush Hour. Third point, not so much. I'm getting stuck on everything right now. My camera, bro. Okay. I'm just going to say right here for this first fight. It's a nice little angle. You can see pretty much everything going on. So far, a 2-0 lead for Rush Hour. If they win this map, they will win a 3-0 here. Let's see, how many Rush Hour? Rush Hour, 3-2. Rush Hour, so they've only had 1-3-0. But they are still a very powerful team. They've just been playing really good teams recently. So, yeah. Because they have a 3-2 and a 3-1 against two of the better teams that we've seen. AKA Loki Swords and AI. Alright, here we go. Javelin goes right into the pole. Some trades coming out here, but they do seem to favor Rush Hour slightly. Soldier able to clean up the fight, getting all 4 kills once again. His MO. Soldier is a very strong bot. Alright. The regroup has happened. They're coming back in here. Orisa taking some space. Ryan and Bap are finally back. However, Soldier is your first to fall. No Diffunks do drop their Widow, but... oh. It doesn't look like they're going to need her here, as Cassidy and Moira can probably just take this point. And that will be a first point take coming in here. It gives you about 5 minutes on the clock. Should give you a little bit over that. Good first take. Alright. Here comes Rush Hour. They're coming back in there on that Cass. Cassie's gone. He's just caught unaware. So they're already contesting the payload before it's even really started moving. Kind of just running around, not really shooting at each other, just kind of looking at each other. Oh, that's another big pin by Ryan. And there goes the Widowmaker, and suddenly looking like a spawn campable situation. Although Bap does go down to the Cass. Cass gonna get pinned into his own spawn door and killed. And all of a sudden, a little bit of spawn camp here. Trying to whittle down some time. If you are on the defense. No Diff Unks looping around here, trying to get a different angle on this fight. Ryan's going to pin straight into the payload. Here comes the javelin spin. Boom. Junkrat gets booped up to high ground. He might just solo ult the Cassidy, and he will. The spawn camp is going to continue. Bap does go down again, but spawn camp is still here. Soldier going to get traded for the Widow. Ryan versus Orisa on point. Ryan's going to take that pin to the bank. He's going to start swinging on her. Ryan doing a very good job. Just keeping this spawn camp going here. Knocking off a good 2.5 minutes from their initial 0.2 time bank. Very good hold coming out from Rush Hour on that second point to start. And now they are moving that payload. Probably we'll see 1 or 2 more fights before they get to the end. If Rush Hour do win another fight, it's going to be pretty difficult getting through to 0.3. Massive Shatter could be on the board here. It was not massive. It actually whiffed. Huge ult by the Orisa. However, it doesn't pick up any value. Gonna zone them all out with this Cass ult. Soldier gonna go take the Orisa, but traded for the Rhine. No tanks on the board here, just DPS and supports. Ooh. Bap Junkrat really just popping off there. Rush Hour gonna keep this control. And now it becomes a little bit interesting. It's gonna become a little bit harder now to take this final point, because now you have this long walk that every time you lose a fight, you're gonna have to go on. I don't know why they're going to high ground. They're so silly. Okay. Big javelin throw by Orisa, but she might just feed here. She is going to feed here, actually. And that... This is looking like where No Diff Unks run on King's Row is going to end here. Probably going to end right at this choke. I got about 2 more fights in him, but man, this is a rough spot to be stuck. Bap might get cut out of position here if he pushes up like that too much. Oh, Soldier get himself into a little bit of a dangerous situation here. He is going to fall for it. Here comes the Junkrat tire, though, and it does pick up the Cassidy. So you at least start trading your hit scan DPS. Keeping your BAP means you probably have an advantage in this one for Rush Hour. Ooh, okay, Orisa getting a pick on the rat. Oh, BAP's going to go down to the Widow, and suddenly, without the Cass, they want to fight, and now they might even get... Oh, well, if they push the payload. If they push the payload, they could get it to the 3rd point here before a touch comes through. Here comes Ryan, here comes Ryan. I think they are going to just barely get it before we can see a recontest here. So, minute 51 to get it to the end. A lot less time on the bank here, though. So you really only have 2, 3 fights, maybe. If you are no Diffunks, and actually they're doing a pretty good job here. Keeping this enemy composition away. Do get some kills here, and they are going to actually start pushing now, because Cassidy gets a couple there. And all of a sudden we could see a map completion here for no diffs. Even after this slow push getting halted a few times. I think you only get like 2 more fights to do this, though. That's a huge pin. However, is this huge? It is pretty huge. That's a 2-for-2 trade. Who do you got up on the other side? They got Rat versus Orisa and Cass. Okay. Yeah, I think Cass should win this. He does, but he steps in the mines and gets himself killed. So now all of a sudden you only have 1 fight left. Moira and Widowmaker getting back there, but those are not the 2 you want if you're no Diffunks here. Probably the weakest members on your squad. The weaker 2. Soldier getting down to half. He isn't quite going to fall. Moira's going to go down, though. And that's probably going to be it. No Diffunks making it kind of close here on King's Row, but just not enough steam to finish the map. Slowly whittled down by this Rush Hour team, and that'll be it. That is where the payload will stop. That'll be the 3-0 completed by Rush Hour. Close looking 3-0 at times, but still a 3-0. And that will be all. Going on to the next match. Whoops, my bad.